In this video, you will embark upon a transformative exploration of one of life's most delicate paradoxes: how our greatest strength, our capacity for openness and vulnerability, can become our most profound weakness when wielded without wisdom. Through the profound insights of Jung, the master explorer of the human psyche, you will learn to transform your natural inclination toward transparency into a conscious art form. This teaching will show you how to preserve your inner sanctuary while still connecting authentically with others, how to recognize the wolves dressed as confidants, and most importantly, how to reclaim the power that lies dormant in your shadows. By journey's end, you will possess the keys to selective vulnerability, a skill that will protect your energy, deepen your relationships, and fortify your soul against those who would exploit your openness. The wounded heart that trusted too freely. There exists a particular ache known only to those who have offered their innermost selves as gifts, only to watch them be carelessly discarded or wielded as weapons. You know this pain, the moment when your vulnerability, shared in hope of connection, becomes ammunition in another's hands. Perhaps it was the colleague who turned your confided struggles into office gossip, or the friend who reminded you of your deepest insecurity precisely when you needed support most. This wound cuts deeper than mere betrayal. It strikes at the very core of what makes us human, our desire to be known and understood. Jung understood this universal experience with profound clarity. He recognized that our psyche contains both luminous heights and shadowed depths, and when we open ourselves indiscriminately, we invite not just connection but potential exploitation. The tragedy is not in the opening itself, but in the unconscious manner with which we cast our pearls before those who cannot recognize their worth. Your pain in these moments is valid, but it is also instructional, a call to develop the wisdom that transforms naive openness into conscious vulnerability. The unconscious invitation to predators. Within the labyrinth of human interaction lies a truth both ancient and uncomfortable: not all who seek our secrets do so with pure intention. When you reveal your innermost landscape without discernment, you inadvertently create a map that others may use to navigate your emotional terrain, not for the purpose of understanding you, but for gaining advantage over you. The manipulators seize your confessed fears as pressure points, your shared dreams as potential weapons, your admitted weaknesses as doors to exploitation. Jung's exploration of the human shadow, those aspects of personality we prefer to keep hidden, reveals that such predatory instincts exist within the unconscious of many individuals. They may not consciously set out to harm you, yet something within them recognizes opportunity in your openness. The colleague who remembers your financial worries when negotiation time arrives, the friend who brings up your relationship insecurities when their own are threatened, these are the shadow aspects of others finding expression through your unguarded revelations. Protection begins not with cynicism, but with conscious selectivity in whom you trust with your tender places. The slow erosion of your mysterious power. In Jung's vision of individuation, the lifelong journey toward becoming a complete, integrated self, mystery plays a vital role. There is profound power in the undisclosed, the unexpressed, the carefully held. When you lay every thought, feeling, and experience bare, you risk diminishing the very essence that makes you magnetically human. Consider the people who captivate you most deeply. Are they not those who retain an element of the unknown, whose depths you sense but cannot fully fathom? Complete transparency, while seeming virtuous, can render you predictable, and predictability breeds contempt rather than respect. Your unexpressed thoughts carry unique energy, your unshared experiences maintain their potency. When you broadcast every internal movement, you dilute the concentrated power of your presence. The master of conscious living understands that influence often resides not in what is revealed, but in what is thoughtfully withheld. Your mystery is not deception, it is preservation of the sacred space where your truest self resides. Before we continue, I'd love to take a moment to sincerely thank you for being part of this journey toward personal beauty and endless growth. Your support truly means the world to me. If you enjoyed the content, please consider hitting that like button, subscribing to the channel, and sharing this video with others who might find it helpful. Your engagement is what keeps this channel growing and allows me to continue creating content for you. Now let's get back to the video. The hemorrhaging of your life force. Every authentic sharing of your inner world represents an expenditure of precious psychological energy. Jung recognized that our emotional and mental resources are finite, requiring careful stewardship rather than reckless spending. When you pour out your troubles, fears, and hopes to anyone willing to listen, you engage in a form of energetic hemorrhaging that leaves you depleted rather than renewed. The temporary relief of unburdening yourself often gives way to a deeper exhaustion, a sense that you have given away something vital without receiving equivalent nourishment in return. This is not mere metaphor but psychological reality. Your inner world contains potent creative and emotional energy that, when constantly externalized without discrimination, becomes dissipated into the ether. The practice of conscious containment, choosing carefully when, where, and with whom you share your deeper experiences, preserves this vital force for your own growth and transformation. Channel that intense energy inward first through private reflection, journaling, or meditation. Let it strengthen you before you decide whether it deserves expression in the outer world. The magnet that draws the unconscious and unhealed. Perhaps most insidiously, indiscriminate openness acts as an unconscious beacon to those whose own psychological wounds remain unhealed. The person who lacks boundaries often attracts others who cannot respect boundaries. Your excessive transparency may draw individuals who are themselves struggling with shadow aspects, those parts of their personality they have not yet integrated or acknowledged. These individuals, operating from their own unconscious wounds, may see your openness not as a gift to be honored but as an opportunity to discharge their own unprocessed emotional material. You become, unwittingly, a repository for others' unexpressed pain, anger, or insecurity. The friend who consistently responds to your vulnerabilities with their own dramatic stories, the partner who uses your confided fears to justify their controlling behavior, the acquaintance who seems energized by your struggles, these patterns reveal the shadow dynamics that unchecked openness can activate. Healthy relating requires two people who have done their own inner work. Sharing deeply with those who have not is like pouring clean water into a contaminated vessel. The shadow's reflection in your own unconscious. Jung's most profound warning regarding openness concerns not others' shadows but our own. When we compulsively share without self-awareness, we risk being controlled by unconscious aspects of our own psyche that we have not yet acknowledged or integrated. The shadow is not merely what we hide from others, it encompasses all the aspects of ourselves we have not yet brought into conscious awareness. Fear, shame, anger, desire, and pain that remain unconscious will find expression, often in ways that compromise our dignity and power. Consider those moments when you shared something raw and immediately felt exposed or ashamed afterward. This reaction often signals that you expressed shadow material, aspects of yourself you have not yet fully accepted or understood. When you are driven by unconscious impulses to overshare, you are not exercising authentic vulnerability but rather being possessed by unintegrated aspects of your psyche. True openness requires first becoming conscious of what lies within your own depths, accepting all aspects of yourself with compassion, and then choosing consciously what deserves expression in the world. The alchemy of conscious vulnerability. The path forward does not lead to emotional isolation but to conscious connection. Jung's wisdom points toward a more masterful way of being, one that honors both your need for authentic relationship and your responsibility to protect the sacred vessel of your inner life. Begin by cultivating discernment as a spiritual practice. Observe people over time, watching their actions more than their words. Notice who responds to your small vulnerabilities with care and who seems to collect them like trophies. Create space between your inner experience and its expression. Not every feeling requires an audience, not every thought deserves voice. Develop a rich inner dialogue through journaling, meditation, or quiet contemplation. Let your experiences marinate in the depths of your own consciousness before deciding if they warrant sharing. When you do choose to be vulnerable, let it be a conscious gift offered to someone who has proven worthy of such treasure through consistent, loving action. Most importantly, embark upon the sacred work of shadow integration. Spend time with the parts of yourself you would rather hide, your fears, your anger, your shame, your secret desires. Meet them with curiosity rather than judgment. As you become intimate with your own depths, openness transforms from compulsion to choice, from weakness to conscious strength. The dawn of authentic power. You stand at the threshold of a profound transformation. Behind you lies the naive openness that left you wounded and depleted. Ahead lies the path of conscious vulnerability, a way of being that honors both your need for connection and your responsibility to protect the sacred space of your inner life. This is not about building walls but about becoming a conscious guardian of your own temple. When you master the art of selective vulnerability, you reclaim the power that was always yours. You move through the world with quiet confidence, knowing that your deepest self is safe, shared only with those who have proven worthy of such treasure. Your relationships deepen because they are built on conscious choice rather than unconscious compulsion. Your energy increases because you no longer hemorrhage your life force through indiscriminate sharing. This is Jung's gift to you, the understanding that true strength lies not in complete openness but in conscious choice. You are not meant to be an open book for all to read, but a sacred text revealed only to those who approach with reverence. In protecting your mystery, you preserve your power. In honoring your depths, you honor the divine within you. The wounded child who trusted too freely is transforming into the wise guardian of authentic connection. Your vulnerability, tempered by wisdom, becomes your greatest strength. Your journey to conscious connection starts now. If you've made it this far, something deep within you is ready for transformation. You're not broken for being open-hearted, you're simply ready to become wiser about how you share that beautiful gift. Remember, every person who has ever felt the sting of betrayed trust has stood exactly where you stand now. The difference is, you're choosing growth over bitterness, wisdom over walls. That takes incredible courage, and I see that strength in you. Your vulnerability, when guided by Jung's wisdom, won't become your weakness, it will become your superpower. You'll attract genuine souls while naturally repelling those who can't handle the treasure of your authentic self.